The office lights were still glowing in the empty building when he pushed the door open. Dust on his shoes, exhaustion in his bones, and a small hope buried deep in his chest that tonight, something would finally feel different. What he did not know was that walking into that place early would not just change his job. It would shatter everything he thought he understood about his boss, his life, and the quiet kindness hidden inside people we often underestimate. If you believe in kindness, second chances, and the unseen goodness in people, don't forget to like, comment, share, and subscribe to Kindness Corner for more heart-touching stories that remind us the world is still gentle in unexpected ways. He was a single father named Armin, a man who had learned to survive disappointment more times than he could count. Life had not been kind after his wife passed away, leaving him alone with a small son and a world that suddenly felt too large and too cruel. Every morning he woke up not for himself, but for the boy who still believed his father could fix anything. That belief was the only thing keeping Armin from falling apart. At the office, Armin worked quietly, unnoticed by most, the kind of employee who arrived early, left late, and never complained. His boss, a woman named Ms. Alina, was known as strict, distant, and nearly impossible to please. People whispered that she had no heart, that success had hardened her into someone who only saw numbers, deadlines, and failures. Armin had heard it all, but he never allowed himself to judge her. Life had taught him that people often carry invisible wounds, and silence was sometimes just a shield. That evening, Armin had returned early from a short work assignment out of town. His plan was simple: drop some documents on Ms. Alina's desk, finish his remaining tasks, and leave before anyone noticed. He wanted to surprise her with his efficiency, maybe even earn a rare nod of approval. Approval meant stability, and stability meant his son could continue school without fear of another unpaid month. But as he entered the building, something felt different. The usually rigid silence of the office floor carried a strange softness, like the air itself had been rearranged. A faint light glowed from Ms. Alina's office at the far end of the corridor. Armin hesitated for a moment, thinking she might still be working late as she often did, but what he saw next slowed his steps. Through the partially open door, he noticed movement, not the sharp, controlled energy he associated with her, but something gentler. Papers were scattered on the desk, not in chaos but in careful arrangement. And beside them there were small objects that didn't belong in a corporate environment, tiny medicine packets, a worn photograph, and a child's drawing pinned slightly crookedly against a lamp. Armin felt something tighten in his chest. He stepped closer without meaning to intrude, and what he saw made him stop completely. Ms. Alina was not the cold, untouchable figure everyone described. She looked tired, deeply, painfully tired. Her hair was slightly undone, her posture less firm, and for the first time she didn't look like a boss at all. She looked like someone holding the weight of an entire life alone. There was a small cough from behind the desk, and Armin realized she wasn't alone in carrying that weight. A young child, no more than 6 or 7, lay resting on the office couch, wrapped in a soft blanket. The child's face was pale, and there was a quiet struggle in each breath. Armin did not understand what he was witnessing, but something inside him shifted. The woman people feared was not absent of feeling, she was drowning in it. Ms. Alina noticed him then. For a moment, neither of them spoke. Her expression changed from exhaustion to sharp awareness, as if she had been caught in a truth she never allowed the world to see. But instead of anger, there was something else in her eyes, fear of being seen too clearly. She tried to stand taller, to rebuild the professional wall she always carried, but it didn't fully return. Armin simply lowered his gaze slightly, not out of submission, but respect. He understood more than words could explain. As a father, he recognized the chaos of trying to balance responsibility and heartbreak in the same breath. What Armin did not know yet was that Ms. Alina's life outside work had been a silent battle. Her child had been battling a chronic illness, one that required constant care, expensive treatments, and emotional strength she often didn't have. The office had become her second home because there was nowhere else she could afford to stop working, even for a moment. Every strict decision she made, every cold instruction she gave, had been built on exhaustion and desperation.